Shalom, giving all praise to my Heavenly Father. His name is Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Wakahabadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders that rule well in peace. Many salutations to you brothers out there that's kicking his word and our sincerity, our truth. I ran across some information in regards to the border and Mexico's stance on the border situation. It seems that Mexico is allowing these various immigrants to cross into the U.S. for political reasons. Here, last 2 weeks, a week or so, I want to say like 2 weeks, Mexico had actually gave a list of demands to the U.S. to stop the border crisis. It demanded, $20 billion in revenue for Latin countries, the end of sanctions on Venezuela, and also visas for a substantial amount of citizens of Mexico that's already working in the U.S. I found this very interesting. One, because there's been talks of Mexico joining the BRICS, which right now is just a rumor. But I found it interesting that the Mexicans, which some are Israelites, but the higher ups of the governments are, Edomites. But I found it interesting that the Mexican government had these demands for other Latin countries that let me know that they are in talks. And I want to say that Venezuela actually joined the BRICS this year too. To circumvent the sanctions that the U.S. put on the that country. So it's very interesting things that's going on. Economically speaking, I wanted to highlight it. And this shows you that the weak are saying that they are strong. Okay, this is another indicator. When we see, countries that was, for the most part, servants to the U.S. starting to buck up. We see this in Mexico, economically speaking. So this Joel 3:10 says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And this is what we see going on now. Now, I actually have a clip from Fox News to expound on this situation. Okay, so let me pull it up for you guys.
President of Mexico, Manuel Lopez Obrador, issued a list of demands if we want his help with the border crisis. This is what he wants. He wants Biden to give...
Start this over again.
President of Mexico, Manuel Lopez Obrador, issued a list of demands if we want his help with the border crisis. This is what he wants. He wants Biden to give $20 billion to Latin American countries, wants to grant work visas for 10 million Hispanics already in America, end sanctions, all of them, against Venezuela, and end the blockade of Cuba. Senator Roger
and people don't even realize the blockade that's going on between Cuba. Cuba and Venezuela had a pact with one another. Cuba is known for their medical field and doctors, so you had a lot of Venetites that would work in Venezuela, and exchange Venezuela would give them oil. Well, under the Trump presidency, which is known to being very hawkish or warlike, put sanctions back on Cuba, blockades back on Cuba. That was once taken out by Obama, and also stop that pact that they had with one another. Okay, so Esau Edom has always has his hands in everything, and this is one reason why these various countries are going to come up against Babylon. Great, because he can't keep uh, his feet at home, or meaning he can't mind his own business. He feels he's superior, and he can stick his head in people's other countries' business. There's actually a term called the Monroe Doctrine, which states that the U.S. is the uh, the known power of the Western Hemisphere, the head power of the Western Hemisphere. Okay, this that ideology paints the picture of Habakkuk, the second chapter. Now, this is Habakkuk 2, and I'll get straight to 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up in is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. I'm gonna start at 3. It says, well, yeah, I started 2. It says, Habakkuk 2 and 2. It says, and Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. So now we're coming up in our understanding, and we're able to diagnose, spiritually speaking, what's going on in the world, which is prophecy. Okay. The fact that Esau Edom with Babylon the Great is a nuisance to these various countries, a bullet to these various countries is prophetic. Okay. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not aright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he's a proud man. What is that wine? His philosophy. Okay, his hegemony, right? His which is basically his cultural, financial, military, dominance of the world. Okay, all right. It says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desires as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathers unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And this is what we see going on in South America, South Central America. Okay, you got to understand, America has funded coups. Within funded coups, place millions of Israelites into captivity, cause cartel wars by allowing the sale of narcotics, right? Doing all types of backhanded things the in South America, right? To the tribes, right? Look what happened in Venezuela. Which in Venezuela it was a attempt coup funded by the U.S. Okay, and this game that he plays is all throughout the world. We especially doing it to our people, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans. South America, Central America is in disarray. Okay, so you have Mexico that's saying, you know what, we're gonna allow all these immigrants this flow into your country, and Biden has to be politically correct because he's a Democrat, so he's allowing these people to come in, without much backlash, which he has to, right, for political reasons. That's why when Trump was around, not to remember too much, but getting to the point when Trump was around, there was sensationalizing the fact that he was locking people up, not allowing them to come in, putting kids in cages and all that. all that was like a lot of it was capped, but it was to paint a certain picture of the Republicans. Okay, so I say all that to say we're in some very interesting times. Political shifts are going to have to be made because America's once allies are pushing back, and it's prophesied. Okay, the weak are saying they're strong, and people are getting tired of the man that can't keep it at home. Okay, um, back to it though. Habakkuk 2:4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up in him. Excuse me. A little excited. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desires hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his? Which we know woe means destruction. Okay? That word parable, when you look it up according to my study Bible, it simply goes into a proverb, and that word a proverb goes into a riddle. So people are, and it's interesting that you said, because usually when you give somebody proverbs, or you trying to articulate your disdain for somebody, you give them certain stereotypes. This is what we see going on now. Okay, the other nations are catching on to the treachery of Esau Edom, and they're making pacts. Okay, it says, woe to him that increases that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. You see that? Ladeth himself with thick clay. Which we know that word thick clay is, that the word clay is abaya, is debt. So Esau Edom was able to control the Western world because of the strength of the American dollar. And we're starting to see these other countries circumvent the American dollar by attaching themselves to BRICS. Brazil is one of them. Venezuela is one of them. And there's talks about Mexico. Okay, all right. But this guy is doing a lot of things again in South Central America, and Mexico is using its influence to help out the various Latin countries. Okay.
Marshall is here. Senator, I think that is a humiliation for our president. What say you?
You're absolutely right, Stu. This feels like Mexico just took Joe Biden's lunch pail.
Yeah.
How dare they do this? But this is what happens when you have a president.
See what this is like. It seemed like the president got his lunch pail took. So that just shows you America's looking weak right now. 10, 20 years ago, Mexico would never say anything like that.
Operating from a point of weakness, that there's chaos going on, that his Secretary of DHS does not have operational control of the border. We need to be operating from a point of strength. We need to control our border, first of all. We need to change policies and then negotiate with the Mexican president. And we need to go back to the Remain in Mexico policies that what we're not using.
Now, what do we see going on in Texas? They're sending the Texas National Guard to do what? To secure the border. It said Florida sent some troops to secure the border. So there's some interesting things going on with the whole economy of the rest, the left versus the right, man. All right. So we are in some exciting times. The weak are saying they're strong. You had these northern trial countries that's trying to stand up against Babylon the Great, and Mexico is a huge component to that. Okay, so just wanted to report Hopefully edifying. Don't want to ramble too much. So shalom. On to the next.